In this video, let's take a look at how to create a Microsoft form. The first thing you'll need to do is to go to office.com and sign in. And once you've done that, this is our Office 365 environment. You will see a Forms link at the top where the apps appear. So I've opened that in another tab, and let's jump into that. So here I've got the option to create a new form or a new quiz, and a quiz obviously has correct answers and feedback and a marking scale attached. But today let's just create a standard form, imagining that this is for teachers that have attended a recent workshop. So I'll click on that button. This now goes straight into the form creation dialog. So this is going to be a workshop review and a short description. So we have created some basic instructions to follow. This top section can be quite long. There's no limit to how much text you can put here, but obviously you need to make sure that the person has enough information to follow so that they can complete the form effectively. Let's start adding a question. Now there's 7 question types: choice as in multiple choice, text as in short or long written response, ratings such as a 1 to 5 star rating. There's the option for a person to enter a date. Say you're suggesting times that students could come in for one-to-one workshops. That might be a good way to use the date option. And in the ellipsis, we've got these great extensions. Ranking is a really useful type of question, as is Likert, and then we've got what's called a Net Promoter Score. Let's actually start with a Net Promoter Score. So I'll click on that. And the question is, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? Let's just change us to this workshop. Now we have the option to change the 0 and 10 ends of the scale by simply clicking in here and entering different phrases, but they're fine as they are. And every question type that you add has extra options in the ellipsis here. So we can opt to add a subtitle, which might be choose a number below, a simple additional cue, which makes it very clear what we have to do. When we've finished developing a question, we click away, and you can see that final preview version. Let's add 2 more question types. Choice. So there's my question, and here I'll say choose one of the following options. And depending on the type of question you are building, you might get these automatic suggestions. These are not really appropriate, so I'm going to add my own options. So the first one is yes, appropriate length. No, too short. And I'll add another option. No, too long. And you could keep going from there. Is this a required question? Yes, it is. I only want one answer, so I'm not going to give them the option to put in multiple ones. When we click away, we can see what the question's going to look like. Now, say we want to change the order of the questions. We can simply click into the questions and use the arrows to shuffle the question order around. One more question type, and that will be the Likert. Now, a Likert is a grid. So here I'm going to say, please rate the following. Now across the top, these are the scales typically. So here I'll say for option 1, poor. Here I'll say okay, good, great, excellent. First one will be the pace of workshop delivery, quality of workshop materials, relevance of workshop content, and let's add one more, and this will be quality of workshop venue. You could of course go on. This is a required question, which means that in each row the respondents must click on one box. Let's make it required. I will also leave the subtitle blank. It's quite obvious what needs to happen. Let's click away and see what we've got. So that is how we build the basics of a form. I am going to add just a final question, and that's a catch-all. So I'll go text. It's wise to add a question that simply says anything else to add, just in case there's something on a person's mind. This is their chance to give you that feedback. It's not required, this is optional. And let's make it a larger text box in case they want to put a bit of information there. Clicking away, that's what we've got. So here's a simple 4-question form. We could extend this out as much as we wanted, but I'm sure you get the idea. Let's now go into the preview mode. So this is what it will look like when a person receives the link. You'll notice at the top it says, "Hi Jason, when you submit this form, the owner will be able to see your name and email address." That's a default setting because we normally would send these forms to other people with Office 365 accounts. So this is our chance to tick and work our way through the form. You can see how if I only click some of these and I go submit, it's going to say this question is required, and that's going to force me to complete that. Now, I'm not adding anything here. I'm going to hit submit, and I've now tested my form. Let's hit back. Perhaps you want to change the look of it. You've got a few visual options here, and if I go into responses, I can even preview what my response looked like. And this is what's beautiful about the Net Promoter Score. You get this great kind of graph here which shows you the effect size, if you like, of that question. Anyway, jumping out of responses, how would you share this with people? Click on the share button. Let's click here and copy that link. This link you can now send to people through email or some other means. When they click on it, they can complete the form. There's also other ways to share this form as a template so that other teachers can modify it. And you can also get other teachers and colleagues to get in on the form and help you build it and review the responses together. So this is a very quick look at forms. I'm also going to put a link in this video to a large resource which shows you everything you need to know about the 7 question types in Microsoft Forms, how to build great surveys, also how to create quizzes, and all these different sharing and collaboration settings that appear down the right hand side. I would highly encourage you to start using Forms. It's one of the most robust and flexible and useful applications of Office 365. So get started by simply going to office.com, jump into Forms, and go from there.